Wait, which?
Hello? Hi, it's Lois. Sandra, are you on?
Hi, Lois. This is April. Sandra's not on, but I'm here.
Oh, okay. So are you able to see my screen?
I am. I'm able to see.
I'm actually here.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, I've been here. Sorry, I thought I was unmuted and I wasn't. I'd been talking and I was wondering why nobody was getting back to me.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm trying to make you the presenter now.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to move.
All right, Lois, you should be the host now and I can see your screen anyhow. So somehow, yeah, because you shared your screen, we were able to see it, but I just made you the host to make it easier.
Okay. So we're all set then?
I'm just writing down who all's here. All right, yeah, we should be good with yours. I'm just gonna wait a few for everyone else to get on here and then we'll get started, okay?
Okay, yeah, that's great, April. Thank you.
It's Sandra.
Oh, Sandra, you're here. I thought you said April.
She did it first. She did it first. That's okay.
Oh.
And then I was like, no, I'm here.
Oh, all right. I apologize. I didn't hear that. Okay, we're all set then.
You're all set. I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself and give everyone else a couple minutes to get on.
Okay, before you do that, how can I get rid of these slides on the side? You know?
Go up to slideshow at the top. Go over to your right.
Over to my right. Oh, right here. Okay.
Slideshow. And go to from beginning. It's all the way over to the left.
Okay. All right. I got it. Thank you.
Welcome.
I don't know.
Hey guys, this is Sandra.
I'm trying. Just let me think here.
I just want to let you all know that I'm just waiting for everyone else to get on here, okay? Okay. Hey, everybody, this is Sandra with the ALS Association. I just wanted to thank everyone for taking the time to get on here today. I'm going to go ahead and let Lois get started, and she can introduce herself and explain her role at our clinic. And, oh, I hit a wrong button. And if you have any questions, just feel free to send something down in the chat, and I'll make sure that that Lois gets the messages. Go ahead, Lois. Oh, before we get started, I just wanted to also mention we're recording this session so that we can send it out to folks. If anybody has any objection to that, please let me know.
Okay, thank you, Sandra. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. I am the clinic dietitian for the Allegheny Health Network Allegheny General Center, and I'm also the manager of clinical nutrition at Allegheny General. And what I wanted to do today was to just present a very high-level overview of the nutrition information that I share with our clinic patients and their caretakers. And we really have 5 or 6 things that we like to focus on with our patients. Number one, we like them to make sure they have adequate calories, adequate protein in their diet, fluids, and fiber. And so we'll be talking about some tips to help with those things. And let me just see how I advance my slides, and we'll be good to go. Let's see. So the objectives for today's session are to assist patients and caretakers in designing nutrition strategies to promote optimal nutrition to ensure you're well nourished. And so that includes providing calories, protein, and other key nutrients to ensure you have adequate energy to perform the activities of daily life, maintain your muscle mass, and promote quality of life. So calories are really critical. It's like putting fuel in your car. And when we don't have sufficient calories, it's like running on fumes. So many of our patients tell us that they feel very fatigued or tired. So one of our strategies is to encourage that they have small, frequent, nutrient-dense meals and snacks. And it's always a good idea to schedule these small meals about 3 to 4 hours apart. The other very important thing is to avoid light or diet foods. And this is really difficult for many of our adult patients who have been dieting for a large period of their adult life. And you also want to avoid beverages that may fill you up, but provide very few calories, like black coffee, black tea, diet sodas. And you want to include more fat when you're preparing foods and include higher calorie items at meal periods. So you want to think about using more butter, adding gravies or cream sauces, using higher fat dairy products, and even working in some of those great desserts that we all enjoy. With fatigue, you may notice that it's sometimes more challenging to eat solids versus drinking liquid items. So you may want to consider the use of an oral nutrition supplement like Ensure and Live, Boost Plus, Carnation Instant Breakfast, or a homemade snack like a great milkshake that you could use some whole milk and a couple scoops of high-fat ice cream. The other really important part of our recommendation is to make sure that you have adequate protein to prevent muscle loss or wasting. So you want to make sure you're using high biological value proteins. And these are proteins that are complete proteins and are most often found in eggs, dairy products, meat, fish, or poultry. And you want to include a protein source at each meal period. And the recommendation is to consume 1 to 1.3 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So to calculate your weight in kilograms, you would divide your current weight by 2.2, and that would result in your weight in kilograms. So if we look at a 150-pound woman, and if we divide 150 by 2.2, that individual's weight would be 68 kilograms. And then if we were to look at the protein recommendation of 1 to 1.3 grams, that 150-pound woman would require somewhere between 68 and 88 grams of protein per day. If we looked at a 180-pound man, again, we'd divide 180 by 2.2, and their weight in kilograms would be 82. And then you can see if we were to multiply 82 by 1 or 1.3, their protein requirement would be 82 to 107 grams per day. And what you would do is to take your recommended protein allotment, and then you would divide that by the number of meal periods you're going to be consuming a day. So this is really critical that you eat this equal amount, because your body is able to utilize that protein more efficiently than if you would just try to eat it at one meal period. And it can be a little for Americans because we're used to eating just a small amount of protein at breakfast, a little bit more at lunch, and a large majority of our protein with the dinner meal. So if you're thinking, how would I go about achieving a protein goal? I've provided a list of high protein foods and the amount of protein they would provide. So you can see that in a cup of milk, you would receive 8 grams of protein. And it really doesn't matter whether it's skim milk, 1%, 2%, or whole. 1 ounce of cheese would provide 7 grams, 2 eggs, 14 grams. 3 ounces of meat, fish, or poultry would result in 21 grams. A half a cup of beans would provide 6 to 9 grams of protein. And 1 cup of yogurt would provide anywhere between 8 and 13 grams. So if you're using regular yogurt, that would result in 8 grams of protein. If you like the Greek yogurt, it's a higher protein source, so that would provide the 13 grams. And our oral nutrition supplements, depending upon which one you're using, could provide anywhere between 13 to 20 grams of protein. Many of our patients present with chewing difficulty. So if that is something that you're experiencing, you want to alter the consistency of food. And we recommend chopped or diced foods that you serve with gravy or sauces to retain moisture. And examples of these menu items would include ground meats with gravy, mashed potatoes with gravy, a pasta with meat sauce, tuna noodle casserole, cottage cheese, yogurt, or ice cream. And if your ability to chew is very limited, you want to avoid eating foods that are leafy, chunky, coarse, or dry. And you may want to consider a pureed menu item as an alternative that would have a melt-away effect and require little to no. Many of our patients also report swallowing difficulties. So these are some tips to help with that. Again, you would want to select moist food, and if necessary, consider the use of commercial thickeners if thin liquids present a problem. And often when our patients report a swallowing difficulty, our physicians prescribe a modified barium swallow study. And this will help to determine the texture of food and also the types of liquids that our patients can safely swallow. And it is recommended, if you're having difficulty with thin liquids, that you would add a commercial thickener to achieve a nectar or honey consistency. And the commercial pre-thickened products can be purchased. So they do sell pre-thickened juices, waters, lemonade that are in a honey or nectar consistency. So what I've done is to provide you with the names of several companies that sell the thickened or pureed products, and most of these will drop ship to your door. So we have Hormel Health Lab, Nestle Nutrition, or Simply Fit. And these are some general tips if you are experiencing chewing or swallowing difficulties. So you want to eat slowly. Good idea to put your fork down between bites. It's great to take small bites. You want to avoid foods that are crumbly or fall apart easily in your mouth or contain tough skin. And you also want to encourage the whole family to adopt a leisurely meal. And this is often a challenge for Americans as we tend to inhale our meals. So you want to slow down. And I've also provided a list of cookbooks for patients with chewing or swallowing difficulty. And it does help to increase variety in the diet and just make things a little more palatable. And you can find these in a local bookstore, or you can also purchase them online. I know they're available on Amazon. Another very common complaint from our patients is that they have difficulty with excess or thick saliva production. So if this tends to be a concern, you want to avoid milk or milk products and consider using soy or nut beverages. So soy milk, almond milk. You want to also limit very sour or sweet foods. And it often helps to drink hot tea with lemon to thin secretions. And you want to make sure you are well hydrated. And so the general recommendation is to try to include 8 cups of fluid daily. Another common symptom that our patients experience is constipation. And so you want to try to include higher fiber foods like bran cereals, whole grain bread, beans, vegetables, and fruits. And I provided a list of the recommendations for daily fiber intake. And you can see for men, if you're 51 or older, it would be 30 grams per day. And for women, 51 or older, it's 21 grams per day. Fluids are also critical for our patients, and they help to preserve skin integrity. They also help to prevent constipation. They'll contribute to the effectiveness and clearance of medications, and fluid helps the medications find the correct receptor sites in the body. It prevents dry mouth and thickens secretions. And again, the general recommendation is 8 cups per day. And fluid is not only water, but it's any item that is liquid at room temperature. So if you think about ice cream or Jell-O, soup is considered fluid. And if you also think about some of the fruits that are available, like watermelons and grapes, citrus fruits like oranges, you can just taste the fluid when you bite into them. So all of this helps to contribute to your 8 cups per day. We also recommend a daily multivitamin for ages, 100% of the RDI. And multivitamins are available as a tablet, a chewable, or a liquid suspension. And currently there isn't any scientific evidence that confirms the beneficial effects of other nutrition supplements and ALS. However, many centers encourage the use of vitamin C, vitamin E, B-complex vitamins, as well as CoQ10. Fatigue, I want to just focus on again because it is a very common symptom. So if you are feeling too tired to eat, you may want to consider taking a nap before meal periods, or thinking about when you first get up in the morning, rather than trying to take a shower, get dressed, and then go down for breakfast, you may want to reorder your activities and eat first, and then take a shower and get dressed. It's also helpful if you try to eat softer foods that require minimal chewing. If you're trying to prepare foods for yourself, perhaps while your family is out working for the day, you may want to have easy to prepare or convenient foods on hand, and also consider 4 to 6 per day. For some patients, a feeding tube can make a huge impact. It can be viewed as a safety net for patients with impaired swallowing or difficulty breathing that interferes with their ability to consume adequate calories or protein. And we rely on commercial feeding products to provide recommended calories, protein, vitamins, and minerals. And even though our patients may have a feeding tube, they can certainly continue to eat pleasure foods, but the majority of the calories are provided by the tube feeding formula. And the pleasure foods are fine as long as we make sure they're items that our patients can safely swallow. And that is my presentation. If anyone has specific questions, I'll be happy to answer them, or if I don't know the answer, I'll certainly be happy to do some research and get back to you. I've also provided my phone number at Allegheny General as well as my email address. So if you think of any questions in the future, you can certainly reach out to me and I'll be happy to help in any way that I can.
Thank you so much, Lois. This was very informative. If anyone has any questions, you can either unmute yourself and ask them now, or you could send them in the chat. So Lois, I have one question here. It says, as far as multivitamin and supplements, I've taken various supplements for the last couple of years. What are your thoughts on creatine? The pills are so big and tough to swallow. Yeah,
well, again, I think if you have an adequate protein intake, that the creatine is really not necessary. And again, if it's something that is really difficult to swallow, I would try to use a food source. So any of those high protein foods that we talked about a little earlier.
Any other questions that anyone has for Lois right now? All right. Well, so like I mentioned earlier, this session was recorded. So if anybody wanted a copy of it, just let me know and I can send it over to you. And you can see Lois's contact information there. So feel free to screenshot it and reach out to Lois if you have questions, or reach out to anyone in the office and we can help get your questions over to Lois for you. Okay. Well, if there's no other questions, thank you all for participating, and we will talk to you all. Wait, there's one more. Oh, just a thank you. No, it was just a thank you. Well, Lois, thank you again for your help today, and I'll be in touch if any other questions come up.
Okay, great. Well, I hope everyone has a great rest of the day. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.